Welcome to Shingyo Temple Sermon series. Today we will talk about spiritual materialism in the Buddhism. Buddha said, do not abuse mantras. Do not perform magic rituals. Do not become a fortune teller. Refuse spiritual materialism. Now, spiritual materialism is everywhere in any religion, basically. When Buddha tried to be enlightened, tried to find suffering-free world, he already noticed that the existing religions at the time, even at the time, had spiritual materialism. You have a special rituals. You have only secret mantras. You have a special mantra for certain things. You worship something. You rely on somebody to save you. These are examples of spiritual materialism. The Buddha didn't like it because Buddha knew the spiritual materialism would mislead him so that he couldn't achieve the final salvation. I think the Buddha developed his teachings and practice, which is the Buddhism, to become spiritual materialism free religion, philosophy. But unfortunately, we have so many spiritual materialism in the Buddhism. Pre-sectarian Buddhism refuse the spiritual materialism as the Buddha was thinking. As the Buddha refused spiritual materialism, we will refuse spiritual materialism. Now, the spiritual materialism will destroy the self-reliance, first of all. That is the worst thing you can do. You destroy your self-reliance in achievement of the final salvation. Because you are the person. You have to be self-reliant to achieve the final salvation. Because no one will save you. No mantra will save you. Right? No special rituals will save you. But you save yourself. If you donate so much money to priests, they cannot save you. They may say they will save you, but they can't. So spiritual materialism, something like you are worshipping something, you actually rely on something, will destroy self-reliance. That means destroy your opportunity to achieve the final salvation. The spiritual materialism is such a dangerous thing. And also, spiritual materialism will mislead your spirituality. For example, misleading the sense of achievement of the final salvation. You say, okay, I go to temple every day, I pray, I worship the Buddha. So the Buddha will help me. Buddha will save me, for sure. So I'm really comfortable. So I don't need to do anything because I'm just praying every day. He will save me. He will achieve my final salvation. This is wrong. But I'm not criticizing people who are thinking like this. I am criticizing the spiritual materialism, just like Buddha criticized. The Buddha criticized spiritual materialism because you feel like you are already achieved the final salvation, or for some reason you actually believe that you're gonna achieve the final salvation without realism. Spiritual materialism is very dangerous. Also, spiritual materialism will mislead your enlightenment, your sense of enlightenment. Enlightenment is your notice. You notice the truth. You notice something Buddha said, and you notice it. That is your enlightenment. So you have to accumulate enlightenment. There is no one big shot of enlightenment. There is no such thing. You just practice, in your everyday life. You notice little bit. At the end, you actually notice so many things that will gives you the final enlightenment. So, if you go to, let's say, holy place, the huge temple, and you actually meditate, wow, you like, oh, I got enlightenment. That is the wrong sense of enlightenment. And also, okay, I don't eat, okay, for like 1 week, and I keep meditating for 1 week without eating, and I saw Buddha. I got enlightened. That situation, most of the time, I think your brain got some chemical reaction. You saw something you shouldn't see. See, if you are in the spiritual materialism, your sense of enlightenment will be misled. You have to notice the truth in your everyday life one by one. Such accumulation of the enlightenment will give you the final enlightenment. There is no other way. No one give you enlightenment. No one made you. No praise, no mantra, nothing will make you be enlightened. You have to find your own enlightenment. Also misleading, the spiritual materialism will mislead of the sense of selfless or sense of the nothingness. The selflessness is something like you actually, you are not going to lose yourself, but you are actually identical to the nirvana. You accept everything as it is. You don't feel sufferings because you just accept it. If you think about spiritual materialism, if you feel like, okay, I pray the Buddha, so Buddha will make me selfless. I meditate in front of Buddha so that I can be selfless. So I have to be in the temple. No, you can be selfless anywhere in the world. And even you don't expect to be selfless, because if you expect selfless, the expectation is your desire. You just keep meditating. Meditation for selflessness, then selfless will come to you immediately, directly, and suddenly. You have to wait the moment. You have to wait the moment, but just without expectation, you actually meditate selflessly. Just wait, believe yourself. Trust in your Buddhahood, ability to achieve the final salvation. You will have the moment to be selfless. When you notice the moment, the selfless is gone already. Again, selfless comes suddenly, but quietly. And you actually be selfless. When you notice selfless gone because you notice it. So again, no one gives you selfless. There is no special environment will make you selfless. Spiritual materialism will mislead your confidence. You must be confident about yourself, your ability, your determination to achieve the final salvation. You have to be confident about your self-reliance. You are not going to be confident about the Buddha's ability to save you. You are not going to be confident your future to achieve the final salvation just by praying Buddha every day. the sense of confidence must be realistic. You have to earn it. You have confidence now, but sooner or later you start losing confidence. But you just keep going. When you just patiently continue your light practice, your real sense, real confidence just come. Just like your mouth is getting bigger and bigger, your confidence getting bigger and bigger. That confidence is a real confidence. That confidence is something Buddha had. Okay. Now, the spiritual materialism is such a dangerous thing. And as the Buddha said, we are also telling everybody, don't deal with spiritual materialism. We do use the Heart Sutra for chanting because the Heart Sutra is the knowledge of the Nirvana. We are not using Heart Sutra to save ourselves. If you chant Heart Sutra, you'll be saved, everybody will do it. No, your attitude, your conditions, your persistence to chant the Heart Sutra with your own self-confidence, self-reliance, that whole behaviors, actions will actually bring you to the final salvation. And some people say Heart Sutra got mantra. Of course, Heart Sutra got one sentence of mantra, but again, we don't use mantra for special reason. We just use mantra as a content of the Heart Sutra, which will give us the knowledge of the Nirvana. We never ask anybody to have a huge altar, Buddhist altar. No. Just create your own safe place and just furnish as you wish. And that is your praise. Now, finally, the Buddha was very careful to prevent the spiritual materialism. For example, Buddha said, don't make statue. Don't make, the statue of the Buddha. Also, don't draw his picture. Do not worship him. Do not use the Buddha's name in vain. And these messages are repeatedly sent to his students. Even the very last moment of his life, which is the last teachings of the Buddha, mention about the spiritual materialism. The spiritual materialism was so dangerous, and he had to make the final teaching about spiritual materialism. So think about spiritual materialism. If you have a question about spiritual materialism in the Buddhism, please send me the message. I will answer to you directly. And thank you for listening to this sermon. May the Buddha be with us all. Thank you.